Hey guys, there aren't many videos out there on the multi-sampling feature of the OPXY. So I'm going to do one here featuring Aphex Twin Avril 14th. Here we go.
Now my Juno X has an RD piano in it, and I'm just gonna, for demonstration, I'm going to record 3 notes per octave. So I'm gonna record the C, E, and G of 3 octaves on here. The sample input is the 4th jack down on the side. So the first thing is to start out with a blank multi-sample. So I'm going to hit Shift and the track that I'm putting the multi-sample on. I'm going to hit Shift again, and you see you can choose from category and engine. So I'm putting on engine, and then I can go down to multi-sampler. I'll hit this synth button. And I'm in a multi-sample that has presets in it, but I want that to be blank. So I'll hit Shift and I'll hold down Shift and hit the M1 button, the screen button, number 1. And it says multi-sampler there, and I'll move it off of that and back on. Now when I go back into synth, it's a blank multi-sample. Now you can save this one by holding down on that track button, and you see save. So you can hit the M4 button and you can save that as an init multi-sample. So you can go back to a blank multi-sample at any time. And so I'm going to record 9 total notes, which will give me an entire keyboard of piano. I could actually just record middle C, just 1 note. But the high notes would sound chipmunky from stretching it out that far, and the low notes would sound kind of like a slowed down tape sound. But by recording 3 notes per octave, it has a pretty balanced sound. And that's the beauty of a multi-sample. I'm going to hit the sample button, and the sample screen comes up. And you don't use this record button over here for this. You use this as your record button, the number 1 screen button known as M1. And then on these last 2 encoders here, on the white one, that's your threshold. And you can see here a little red line coming up as I turn that. That's your threshold. If it's all the way down, then when the piano note comes in, it will start recording, and you won't have to mess around with finding the start of your sample. It will just be perfect. And then this light gray encoder here will handle your input volume. I've got it at 0, and I have my Juno X turned to 3/4 of volume, and that works out just fine. There's other opportunities to turn your sample up later on, so it's not really that crucial. Kind of more crucial that you don't overdrive the thing going in. So if your volume comes up to halfway there on the little meter, that's fine. Okay, so now I'm going to locate on the keyboard here where I want to put the samples. So I want an octave above middle C, I want the middle C octave, and I want one below. 3 notes from each, C, E, and G. So I'm going to hit this plus and minus over here and make this say +1. That means I'm the 1 octave above middle C. I'm going to hit G. Now the way this works is that it kind of fills downward. So I'm going to start at my highest octave that I'm sampling into, and I'm going to move down the keyboard. So I'm starting here with G, and I'm going to hold down this screen button right here. And then I'm just going to hit G and hold it down to get a little sustain on it. And the sound actually comes out of the OPXY as you're sampling. It comes out of the speaker if you don't have any headphones or line out hooked up. So now that sound is in there. And then I'll hit the E key. I'll hold the screen button down and hit the E and give that a little sustain. And I'll hit the C, hold down record, hit the C. And now I'm going to move my octave down to the middle octave, where middle C is located. And I'm going to hit that G there. Record that one. And now I'm going to go on down the keyboard the same way. Okay, I've got all the notes recorded in, all 9 notes. I'm going to hit the synth button, and we're in that sampled keyboard now. So, and it's stretched all the notes out perfectly. You can hold down Shift and see that they are looped. So if your sample was real short, you'd hear it start looping and playing over and over and over again. And what you can do to turn looping off is just click on this third encoder there. And it says loop off, so that you can make your piano notes all loop off. And then also by pressing Shift, you see other options there that you can change the direction of play. You can play a reverse sample. You can change the pitch of the sample there if you've recorded a wrong pitch somewhere. And then you've got the overall volume there. And if you do a multi-sampled piano, some other settings you can have are the envelope, and this is how I have that set up. And you can change the sustain by changing the release on the amp. The way I have it, I just hold in on the key if I want like a sustain pedal. When you're on the envelope page, which is M2, you can hit Shift. And don't, without hitting the button, like Shift and the button, just hit Shift while you're in the envelope. And that's where you get your poly menu, poly, mono, legato, portamento, on and off, octave. And you can have a filter on it, and you can have an LFO on it. By Shift 3, you can change the filter, ladder, SVF, high pass, low pass. Shift 4, you can change the LFO, element random tremolo value, LFOs. And now that it is perfected, we can save it. Just hold down on the track button and hit the save button. And you see it saving, and it saves to a number. And then you're going to want to put a name where that number is. So now you'll hold Shift and the track button, click it, and you see that number there that you just saved. And there you can hit rename and rename it. By Shift and then the synth button, you get to this settings page, which lets you pick the portamento type if you want some portamento. And you can come up with a custom micro tuning, like Aphex Twin style micro tuning right here. If you go down to tuning, user, and then edit comes up on the screen. And you hit edit. And now you can individually micro-tune the notes. And also this width thing down here at the bottom is like an Oberheim. If you've ever heard that stereo thing that Oberheim synthesizers do, where the oscillators, some are panned hard right, some hard left, and back and forth. That's what that width does. It does this Oberheim stereo thing, stereo panning thing. All right, hope you enjoyed this, and most of the people who are watching this are not subscribed, so please subscribe to this so you don't end up seeing a bunch of AI videos and you see real people doing real things on YouTube. See you in the next video.